I would never let a white boy beat me. I would never let a white boy beat me. I would never let a white boy beat me.
From the late 19th century moment when John L. Sullivan first declared he could lick any son of a bitch alive, intimidation has been a part of boxing. It's come in many forms. The baleful stare of Sonny Liston, the machismo of Roberto Duran, the menace of Mike Tyson, and of course the most famous practitioner was the greatest, Muhammad Ali, who turned his mouth into one of his biggest weapons.
I can't beat you. I had 180 amateur fights, 22 professional fights, and I'm good as a girl.
Ali was great at that. He got under your skin just by talking to you nonstop. So by the time fight time came around, you just messed up mentally. You want to kill this guy. And once you get mad in a fight, you lose all sense of your game plan.
Sugar Ray Leonard learned that lesson in a painful way when he met Roberto Duran in 1980. Duran's relentless taunts in the lead-up to the fight paved the way for Leonard's first professional defeat.
Duran got into my head. He did everything to insult me, insult my family, my wife, my kids. I took it personal. I wanted to get him back so bad that I selected to fight him and try to beat him at his own game by standing toe-to-toe. The psychological warfare plays a major role in a guy's performance.
Today, no one plays boxing's game of mental warfare better than the executioner, Bernard Hopkins.
And I can go in that ring and mentally tell a guy why he won't beat me. And that is my ace. That is my leverage.
For Hopkins, the mind games begin long before the opening bell rings.
Everything he does, every insult, every utterance, every comment.
I'm gonna kick his British ass come April 19th.
Every shove at a weigh-in is planned out in his head to try and get into the other guy's head.
Bernard knows how to play the mind game. And when he gets into your skin, it's for a reason. It's to get you out of your game plan totally.
Last December, Joe Calzaghe met Bernard Hopkins for the first time at the Mayweather-Hatton weigh-in. Hopkins wasted little time getting acquainted.
I would never let a white boy beat me.
What are you going to lose? If you fight, you will lose. If you fight me, you will lose.
I'll never let a white boy beat me.
You will lose, man.
And you can call it any statement you want. Anybody can print that. I would never lose to a white person.
Hopkins was widely criticized for his racially based comments. But to those familiar with him, it was simply Hopkins being Hopkins.
He's just Bernard. He's not a racist, otherwise he wouldn't have me in his corner, I don't think.
And sure enough, shortly after their face-off, a fight deal with Calzaghe was signed.
Trust me, it was premeditated, thought out, planned, plotted, and delivered.
It's crossing the line, although Bernard has never even acknowledged that there is a line.
If there is a line, Hopkins no doubt crossed it in the lead-up to his 2001 bout with Felix Trinidad, throwing the Puerto Rican flag to the ground at 2 press conferences, the second in front of 5,000 fans in San Juan.
Bernard had to run out there along with his team, and they were lucky to escape with the shirt off their back, and what he left behind was total chaos.
The whole psychological aspect.
Everyone is entitled to what you call the last word. Rice and beans.
The fact that he continued to wear a bandana that had war on it, even though the fight was delayed because of 9/11, everything in many ways, I think, about that fight crystallized Bernard Hopkins.
Hopkins' knockout of Trinidad became the signature performance of his career, a fight which bore plenty in common with tonight's showdown against Calzaghe.
Trinidad is somebody who'd always been trained by his father, just like Joe Calzaghe, always trains at home in Puerto Rico the way Joe Calzaghe trains at home in Wales. Suddenly, Trinidad's home is total chaos. When Bernard Hopkins made that statement about, "I'll never be beat by a white boy," he was hoping to create the same sort of situation for Joe Calzaghe in Wales.
Hopkins is the sort of guy that I really want to beat up. You know, with his big mouth and his bad attitude, and you know, he's sort of something I don't really like.
Joe probably wants revenge. He's angry. He wants me. He's going to try to keep this cool, calm, and collected. But in back of his mind, he wants Bernard Hopkins to eat his words.
He's going to try and make me fight his fight. That's his plan. He thinks he's clever, and we're going to see come fight night.
What I do know is what I said. I must win, and I must win big, and I must punish him to be able to look in everybody in the face and say, "I told you so," and leave the issue and the comment and the answers alone. Winning is everything. It's the only thing. It's survival to the finish.
We leave it to the last minute, we do. Have you noticed? We start packing 24 minutes before, not 24 hours.
It's the first time he's ever done this, taking his son out of the friendly confines of Newbridge, Wales before a fight. But as Joe Calzacchi's father and trainer Enzo makes a final visit to the gym to pack for Las Vegas, he doesn't appear too concerned.
We've got to have, first of all, the gloves. Okay, where's that list? The gloves, the protector. Head guards, you've got the head guards, yeah, we just put it in. He loves his old gloves for sparring. He's had these for 12 years. It's amazing. As you can see it, like 12 years. It's amazing. These are the only ones he ever wears. He'll be focusing basically on the event. Thomas Mack, 19th of April, that's the only thing that's in their mind. Viva Las Vegas.
Later in the day, son Joe is himself in the midst of running several last-minute errands.
Yeah, I got to leave early in the morning. I think the flight's 10:15, so I think we got a car picking me up about 5:45. It's not too bad. It's about a 3-hour drive to Gatwick, to the airport. This is all a new thing for me, but you know, 36 years old, finally making my American debut after all these years, 11th year as a champion, so finally being where I want to be, you know, a big stage.
Undefeated in 44 professional fights, title holder for more than a decade, Joe Calzacchi is one of Britain's most popular athletes, and back in Newbridge, he's almost like a god.
He's a local boy who's come up through the junior ranks and everything, got to the top and never changed. There's not a mark on him, and still like a film star.
Here comes Calzacchi.
Joe Calzacchi, sensational.
They can see that Joe is just the same Joe Calzacchi that grew up in that community and hasn't changed in any way, but they can take a lot of pride in the fact that he has achieved a lot.
Joe, good luck. I know you can do it. And I'm sorry I won't be there to give you your supper.
Calzacchi begins to hammer it home.
I think Joe Calzacchi is one of these fighters. He's just a phenomenal fighter. He's a phenomenon. He's a winner.
Knowing his tremendous Welsh fan base will be able only to cheer from afar, Calzacchi embarks on his journey, carrying with his fists the hopes of an entire country.
Vegas.
I think it's important for Joe Calzacchi's career that finally he has come over to America to fight. That's been missing, whether he actually wanted to own up to that or not. More and more he realized that in order to get that kind of same definition over here that he has back in the UK, he's got to perform in front of American fight fans.
Totally different climate, totally different time zone, where you're not the home fighter, so then you're outside your comfort zone. I'd have no problem with that challenge. That's why I'm over here. I'm the sumo-weight champion of the world. I don't need to come here. I can put a lot of people, as you know, in the stadium. But this is where I challenge myself. You know, one thing, this fight is ice on the cake for me.
This would not be the kind of choice in terms of I want to go to Vegas to have my name up in lights. He's made a choice to come out here to show American fight fans and commentators in particular what he can do, how good he is.
Much has been made of Calzacchi coming to America. Many say a victory over Bernard Hopkins is necessary to cement his legacy. But for Calzacchi, it's leaving the sport with a perfect record that's most important.
Hey, listen, I'm undefeated, and I want to stay undefeated, and I want to retire undefeated. I want to be like the very, very few fighters, Rocky Marciano, few fighters that, you know, all the great fighters, they get beat. But I'm kind of so close to doing something that, you know, it's very, very rare, and that's retiring undefeated.